Anybody here? I'm here to ask some questions to the cast of Little Shop of Horrors.
Feed me! Tui, not right now. Hey, Lucy, what's up?
Hey, Aiden, how you doing?
Feed me! Tui, I'm doing an interview with Lucy over here.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about the role you're playing?
All right, so I'm playing Audrey 2 right here, obviously, the big old plant. So, yeah, I eat people and I take over the world. That's kind of my whole deal.
That's super fun. What's the greatest challenge of playing Audrey 2?
So the main thing with Audrey 2 is that I'm technically a voice actor. And I'm no professional voice actor by any means. So I'm kind of figuring it out as I go along. But yeah, I kind of have to remove myself from the whole equation and really become the character in every way in order to show that while being backstage.
That's a really interesting role to hold. What's a way you've prepared for the role?
I'd say lots of tea. It's very, very vocally straining. I often get a really sore throat because of how deep I need to go, how loud I need to get. But overall, it's really, really rewarding. Now, I got a little someone else who's related to the plant right here up ahead, so I'll pass it off to her. Dia, you ready for some questions? There you are. Enjoy.
Hey, Dia. So
Hi.
you have a really fun role on tech and as well as getting to work with the plant, but we'll get to a little bit more of that later. What drew you to tech in the first place?
Yeah, so I had siblings who were in tech for a while, and I had siblings who were in theater, and just a bunch of friends who did a bunch of this stuff. And so my theater experience was kind of cut off in middle school just because of COVID. So I just kind of got interested in it, I guess.
That's honestly a really great way to bring it back into it. I know your sister was really involved, so it's really cool that you guys have been able to do it together almost.
Yeah.
What was a way that you decided to be a puppeteer? What drew you to that?
My biggest thing was I just wanted to be involved, and I want to try new things, get experience.
Awesome. Can you give us a tour of the plant and maybe what you do to puppeteer?
Okay, so here we have Big Audrey 2. She's a mammoth. So what happens is backstage I crawl through a hole that's cut in the wall, and there's a harness back there that I'm strapped up into, and I'm connected to the plant just from a bunch of cables. So when I move, the jaw of the plant moves up and down.
A lot of work goes into making this show as beautiful and aesthetically pleasing as it is, so can you introduce us to someone who might help with that?
Yeah, of course. Julia, hey. Hi. You ready to answer some questions?
Sure. Hey, Julia.
Hi.
So can you tell us a bit about your job here?
So I work in the props department, so we supervise all props that need to be made or created throughout the show so that the show can have that special feeling and make it feel more real.
What made you decide to join the props crew?
In my first production, I was really into the props, but it wasn't an actual department yet. So then when I found out it was a department for this production, I joined immediately.
What's your favorite prop to have made for the show so far?
Probably the rat poison that we use, because it's just so vibrant and a really fun prop to see on stage.
What's up?
Are you ready to answer some questions?
Sure.
Hey there, Eden.
Hi, Miss Lucy.
You have a very fun yet difficult role as one of the urchins, so can you tell us a bit about that and what you do?
Yeah, so the urchins sort of just act as the storytellers in the show. We're always doing something, we're always on stage, whether it be stage business or just actively immersed in the plot, whatever it is, we're kind of there to just give the audience an inside scoop, if that makes sense.
I love that. You have some very interesting solos and dances in the show. Can you tell us what the hardest number was to learn?
Definitely Little Shop of Horrors, the opening with the prologue. It is physically demanding and vocally demanding and very exhausting, and I'm constantly trying to catch my breath doing that number.
As a senior, every moment is kind of one of last. What has been the most meaningful part of this show to you?
Definitely seeing all of my friends that I grew up with in theater for 4 years finally getting these moments to shine on stage and these featured roles. It's really come full circle, and it's really nice to see everybody succeeding and being happy.
Obviously, the cast is a really big part of the show, but none of this would be able to happen without any of the directors. Can you introduce us to one of them?
Absolutely. Mrs. Wessel.
Hey, Eden.
This is our vocal director, Mrs. Wessel. She slays.
Hey,
Hi,
Mrs.
Lucy.
Wessel. God knows the show couldn't go on without the music. So how many shows have you done here at WHS, and what is your favorite to date?
This is my 18th show at Westfield High School. It's the second time we're doing Little Shop of Horrors. We did it my very first year here 19 years ago. My favorite show to date has to be Into the Woods.
I think it's best to ask this of someone with an inside look. So what is your favorite number of the show and why?
I think my favorite song is Suddenly Seymour. It's just, I love when the whole chorus comes in, and it's just vocally satisfying for me.
In your opinion, what makes these shows so important and meaningful?
It's definitely the family we build within the cast and crew and directors. It's the people that make it what it is.
I love getting to see how much cast gets to stay around and how much new cast we get to bring in. So can you introduce us to someone who's new to theater this year?
Absolutely. Oh, hey, I see one over here. Hey, Braden. Braden is new to theater this year. Not new to Westfield High School, but new to theater. So here.
Thank you.
Hey, Braden.
Hey, what's up?
So you have a very interesting role in the show. Can you tell me a bit about it?
Oh, yeah, Mr. Bernstein, he's a very big contrast to all the other characters on Skid Row because he's this very, excessively gaudy, overly high-class businessman, sort of exploitive businessman. And I think that's a very intentional choice because he marks a pretty big shift in the story, I would say.
This is your first show, but it's also your senior year. So what made you decide to go for it this year?
I think a lot of it was my confidence because I've always been theater adjacent. I've been in choir all 4 of my years, and I would say a good 80% of my friends are involved in theater, so it was just a big confidence issue for me, but I've worked it up this year, and I'm ready to make a good show.
What's been your favorite memory of the show so far?
I would have to go with seeing the choreography to Mushnik and Son for the first time. That was fantastic, and I remember the entire cast burst into applause when we first saw it. That was a ton of fun.
We all know that so much goes into the show, but can you introduce us to someone who could be a lead in the show?
Oh, yeah, I think I saw Molly just this way. Hey, Molly.
Hey there, Molly.
Hi, Lucy.
So you get to play the lead role of Audrey in the show, and this also happens to be your senior year. How have you felt holding a role like this in your last musical?
I mean, there's definitely been a tremendous amount of pressure, but also I'm proud of myself because this is something that I've had the opportunity to work for such a long time that I don't know, I'm just really, really, really happy about it, and this cast is just wonderful. So it's been a really good experience so far.
What's something you would tell freshman Molly?
Oh gosh. I would just tell freshman Molly to believe in herself because I think I've done also just a tremendous amount of growth and that it's okay to just keep going, and I would tell myself not to give up on this because it's something that I've enjoyed for so long and something that's been so important to me that it's just been such an amazing opportunity and not to give up on it.
That's so wonderful. Why should people come see the show?
People should definitely come see this show because we just have such a tremendous cast and crew. Everyone has just done so much work. Everyone's done such a good job. Everyone's put in so much time and effort into this that why not come? We have 3 plants. We have amazing actors. We have vocals that are just incredible. It's just going to be a fantastic show.